okay? In a little bit. You folks come back. Our sponsors want to talk to you for a minute.
Join us for the best in comedy, quiz, and news weekday afternoons on CFAC.
Reckon I could have a little helping to hold me till supper?
Well, all right, boy. Go fetch your plate.
Here, just fill this.
Yeah,
The actual retail price of the prize is $500 and the winner...
The Beverly Hillbillies, The Price is Right, and News First, here on Channels 2 and 7.
Hello, Calgary. I'm Bill Mackay. Next week is Government of Canada Information Week, and we'd like to extend a special invitation to you to tune in and participate. Hello, Calgary will feature a different federal government minister for each show, Monday through Friday. Here's a great opportunity to talk to the ministers. The phone lines will be open, and we look forward to your questions and comments. Join us for an opportunity to talk to the federal ministers on Hello, Calgary.
I like the warm Alberta kind of kindness and lay-back living Alberta style.
I like the way the people say they're always on your side with an I love Alberta kind of smile. I like calling my Alberta home. I like Alberta kind of people, down to earth but reaching for the moon. I like watching kids grow up with lots of room to grow and chase Alberta dreams all afternoon. Lord, it's just like living in a bowl. I like calling my Alberta home.
Well, friends, that was quite a story, but I want to go a little farther. You know, we're going to have Scuttlebutt Lodge South one of these days out of Florida, and we're going to do some of the saltwater fishing. And I want to tell Greg that on one of these days, you folks are going to watch him and his older brother that lives in Phoenix down there doing some fishing. It's going to be quite a story for bonefish. I promised him I'd even have maybe big Teddy ball game, Ted Williams, take us out because he knows that water. What do you think of that? You didn't know that.
Oh, I would enjoy that greatly.
I think your brother would too, wouldn't he?
Take over my brother and my father all at once. And
you know, we could make a believer out of you once and for all. Huh? You know, you're working now and you got that moolah. You wouldn't mind if we got into your wallet, would you? That'd hurt you a little bit, wouldn't it?
Well, see, I'm a gambler.
You know who's liable to surprise you is your water skiing brother.
That's true.
Hey, I'd like to have him fishing while we're pulling him on a water ski trolling. Wouldn't that be cute? But that's the truth, and I think a lot of you folks are going to enjoy the scenes that we make down there because there's a lot of great fishing all through there. A lot of this still fishing, shark fishing, and bone fishing, and everything else. And, of course, surf casting, that's another thing. That's going to be good. And you folks, I think you'll like it in the future as time goes on. We're going to bring you those stories. You'll meet some of the other boys like Greg. You'll see some of the other scenes. And in no way that we can tell you how much we really appreciate sharing it with them. Right, Greg?
Oh, really?
Hey, so long. We'll see you next week on the Red Fisher Show right here in Scuttlebutt Lodge. We'll be looking forward to that, I'll tell you, right? You'll be glad to...
The independent television system.
On channels 2 and 7. You're watching CFAC, Calgary.
As CKND Sports Special. From the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg, the CKND PWA Curling Challenge. Featuring Rick Bolt, the 1980 World Curling Champions from Saskatoon. From Calgary, two-time World Junior Curling Champion Paul Gausel. Also from Calgary, the 1978 Canadian Men's Champion and 1979 World Bonspiel winner Ed Lukowich. And from Winnipeg, the 1979 Canadian Junior Champions and runners-up in the 1980 World Junior Finals, Mert Thompsett.
Furniture World's original Midnight Madness is on now. Hurry in for the best selections while quantities last. Your choice, coffee or end tables unassembled, just $11 each. Assorted end tables, $58. Student desk, $99. This RCA 26-inch color console, $5.99. A McClary 16 cubic foot refrigerator, only $4.99. This Bedford sectional sleeper, a low $688. And this 7-piece dining room suite for a low $858. All items cash and carry and subject to prior sale. Quantities are limited, so check today's Herald and hurry in for the original Midnight Madness at Furniture World.
Join us this Sunday at 8 when two young couples on a fun weekend climb a mountain of the Pacific Northwest and are caught in a killer avalanche. The adventure drama, High Ice.
Kathy, throw me the pack.
Okay.
Hold on to the rope.
Okay, ready?
I told you to hold on to the rope. That was all our climbing gear.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There's no way down. It was all of our gear.
I'm sorry. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna wait for help.
The adventure drama High Ice, Sunday at 8, here on Channels 2 and 7.
Howdy, Calgary. I'm Bob Barker for The Price is Right, inviting you to join me here on Channels 2 and 7 every weekday for 60 minutes of non-stop fun. The games are challenging, the prizes are superb, and the contestants are, well, you decide. It all makes for a great time, so join me Monday through Friday for The Price is Right here on Channels 2 and 7, CFAC.
The Price is Right, every weekday at 4:30 on CFAC.
There's a feeling in the air that you can't get anywhere except in Calgary. I taste 1,000 yesterdays and I love the magic ways of Calgary. From the mountains close at hand, I can look across the land and see you touch the sky. From the prairies glow to where the sunsets go, we're all good neighbors passing by. Makes no difference where I go, you're the best hometown I know. Hello, Calgary, hello, Calgary, you know we love you. Makes no difference where I go, you're the best hometown I know. Hello, Calgary, hello, Calgary, you know we love you.
And it will roll by the shot belonging to Thompsett. And that is certainly a break in the Winnipeg Ring's favor.
Now, Mert would like to have Lyle come in behind. Lyle is very quiet type. He's sort of he's super cool out there, as we've talked about before.
A couple of pretty good golfers in that team.
Well, that's right, actually. Both the front end guys, Mike and Joel, have both had they both got holes in one in their time, which is something that you've never got.
No,
Ryan, and you're quite a golfer.
I've attempted to. You said that with sneer, although we
No,
couldn't get you on camera.
that's right. In the media events and all tournaments, I understand you're right up there with the best of them, or the worst, whatever the case may be.
This delivery from Lyle Derry, the third for the Thompsett foursome, as we get off my golf picture. And he'll hope to bring that around the front guard belonging to Lukowich out in front. Thompsett keeps the brooms on it all the way. Have plenty of room to get by the guard. Now it's a matter of weight.
Oh,
It just picked up a straw by the looks of it.
No,
Drifted
I think
the other way.
it probably picked up a hair because there's no straw brooms out in the ice.
That's
so
right.
I think we have to change our terminology on that one. But that can, the hairs can really change the course of the rock violently compared to what a straw would do. A straw will sort of crumble underneath the rock and sort of slow it down, but a hair
So
will...
he missed it by a hair.
Well, on that one, yeah.
So I'm wondering whether Mike Chernoff will give this enough, and if he's looking at all at a double.
Well, if he gets the double here, he'll definitely roll out, which leaves Mert an attempt to come in behind again. So I think he'd like to just hit the stick right there.
matter of fact, if he could roll this over a touch to the right, he might be able to close the center of the door.
At the last, they figured they might get the fine double on that side, but they would have had to hit it extremely fine on that.
So once again, Mert will be looking to cover up that center line.
Yeah, he's going to have Lyle go at this time. Hopefully he doesn't catch a hair on his part. Lyle has got a tremendous record, and he's only 20 years old. In 1978, he was a Manitoba champ, junior champ with Kerry Burtnick, and then the next year when Burtnick, well, actually in the same year, pardon me, he was with Kerry and they won the Winter Games Championship in Brandon, Canadian Winter Games, and then joined up with Thompsett the next year and became the Canadian junior, and then last year the World Finals. So he's got a remarkable record for a guy his age, and turns out to be one of the superstars in Manitoba already.
Is it that the younger generation is picking up in curling now, or is it just the fact that maybe they didn't receive the publicity in years past?
Well, you're right. They are getting publicity now, and it helps because it attracts some tremendous athletes to the game.
Oh, just rubbed that front guard. Good attempt from Lyle Derry.
Well, that's a good shot. All the way down. It doesn't exactly open it up, but it still leaves the guard, and I don't think Eddie could get through on that one. But if it gets by, he's really sitting beautifully on that.
We mentioned earlier something the Lukowich rink have become renowned for, the fact that Mike Chernoff holds the broom and calls the shots, but Ed Lukowich throws skip rocks.
That's right. They did that a few years back when Eddie felt it was better just to concentrate on his shooting instead of having to call the game also, and it's obviously worked very, very well. And Mike, you know, it gives him an opportunity to concentrate on different things in the game.
In the Manitoba Bonspiel that the Association of Competitive Curlers puts on last year, Eddie Lukowich joined up with Terry Bronstein.
Oh, that's right. And if you talk to Bronstein on that, he says that Lukowich is one of the finest throwers he's ever seen. And obviously, Bronstein's curled with the best of them, including the likes of Donnie Duke. But Eddie Lukowich, to many, is considered the best thrower in the game of curling, the best curler. And there's many, many times that he's shown that. And nobody throws a rock better than Eddie, and his delivery is so smooth, and his release is tremendous, and I think that's the key of all.
There's a lot of curling background there, too, because Eddie Lukowich's brother, who is a star with the Winnipeg Jets on the left wing, is also apparently curled during his high school days, and there's another Lukowich brother that's
Well, actually, Eddie and his older brother, Mike, won the Canadian High School Championship in 1962 when they were out of Spear, Saskatchewan. And then Eddie the next year turned around and got to the final on his own, the Saskatchewan final against Dennis Balderson and Moose Chuck. So they've been quite the curling family.
Lyle Derry keeps the broom off this one, the first of Mert Thompsett's skip rocks. He's trying to find his way through the port. And does it. Nice shot by Mert Thompsett as he draws up to the button. And we'll have to see now if Ed Lukowich wants to follow the same door.
Yeah, it looks like Eddie's being forced to make the draw again. That's although Mert seems to be hobbling along there, he's throwing the rock rather well, so obviously making a big shot here. So it's hard to tell if it's bothering him or not.
Lukowich leads it 2-0 after the first end on a delicate raise for 2. And Mert Thompson will be trying to pick up 2 of his own if he possibly can. This will be the final of skip rocks for Lukowich.
This is an important shot for Eddie. If he gets a little outside, he could the danger of racking on his own up there, and so it's very important that he gets in there.
A look at fast Eddie Lukowich in the hack. Put the brooms to it right away, and they'll wait for the signal from Mike Chernoff. They want to keep the brooms. Very delicate turn. I thought for a moment it almost lost the handle, but now starting to come over that center line, may rub in the front guard. Yes, it did. So Mert Thompson with a chance to draw in for 3 and take over the lead.
That rock really moved. Eddie may have turned that a bit because he had the weight.
Now, the decision here is whether they can use that port or whether they have to go to outside ice.
Well, I don't think Mert would try to come through that port. That's just too risky because it's too easy to raise something in.
He no doubt may be thinking of a shot that he had to make when he was playing Gausel in the preliminaries, and he went to outside ice and came up short on it.
That's right. But, well, maybe he is going to try and come through there.
I think he just might be a little bit leery of the frost out there.
Well, it's he can't afford to raise. He's already got the game tied up. He can't afford to give up a point by throwing a rock and maintaining. You know, if it stays out a bit and raises Lukowich in, to even cut him down to 1 is not very good. But it looks like, well, if he feels confident about getting through that hole, that's fine.
Broom work is very important in a shot like this.
Yes, very.
He seems to have plenty of weight. Be waiting for it to come over, see if it gets through the door, or is he going to raise on one of those front guards? He will not get in, but he will pick up 2, and he tosses over the last rock advantage back to Ed Lukowich, but not before he has tied it up with 2 in the second end. That's the way they sit. Thompsett of Winnipeg 2, Lukowich of Calgary 2, and we'll be back with more action from the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg and the CKND PWA Curling Challenge.
Here's Tonka's new Mighty Roughneck pickup with Big Duke.
It's a Tonka toy.
A Tonka toy.
Built Tonka tough just for fun.
Fun, fun. You can have big fun because you get Big Duke, a winch that really works, removable wheels, and a camper top.
Tonka tough just for fun.
Fun, fun. The Mighty Roughneck pickup comes with everything you see here. New from Tonka.
You know we're all his children.
Hello, I'm Charlie Pratt. You know, over the years, I've traveled a lot of miles and sang a lot of songs. But these are some of my special favorites. It's kind of like a dream come true, having all of them together on one brand new big album from K-Tel.
Come to the church in the wildwood. I know I don't deserve a man.
These songs are kind of special to me, and I'm very pleased to have had this opportunity to share them with you.
Oh, come, angel man. Oh, you just stay between the white lines.
If you're like me and enjoy this kind of music, go on out and get one of these albums. You'll love it.
Charlie Pride Sings the Truth, an album you'll enjoy for years. It's in stores now.
Join us this Tuesday at 6:30 when John Davidson, Kathy Lee Crosby, and Fran Tarkenton take you on another voyage into the world of That's Incredible.
So that she never sat for. The mysterious painting showed what she would look like 10 years in the future.
This is the latest thing in security guards. It's incredibly strong, bulletproof, and can move at more than 20 miles an hour.
That's Incredible, this Tuesday at 6:30 here on Channels 2 and 7.
Oh, I'm the divorce bug. I'm highly contagious and terribly overworked. No marriage is completely immune from me. What a strain on my wings. What I'm doing is infecting marriages with everything from financial disorders like budgetitis to verbal terminosis. That's when married people stop talking to each other. I'm always on the road, running from marriage to marriage. My wife says I'm too involved in my work. That's why I created this lovely free pamphlet, Getting the Bugs Out of Your Marriage. In it, you'll learn about lacoaffectionitis, spouse modificosis, companion minusis, and others. So give an overworked divorce bug a break and get the bugs out of your marriage.
Write Divorce Bug, 1235 Bay Street, Toronto.
She gets by the guard. Now it's a matter of weight as it holds up into the 4 foot, and it's behind, I would say you can see about half a rock to the right side.
Jinder really has his way down early. He's made some great shots here.
Of course, we saw that in the in past play too, in the Briar and such, that the fact that Schindel has played well at lead.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best in the game, and he's probably going to get better and better all the time too, because he's still very young, and it's very difficult to play lead and play it well. Anybody who's ever tried it, I know I played it one year. Oh, I did a heck of a time playing it. It's a very difficult position, especially to keep in the game.
In a very important position.
Very, very.
You know, a lot of weekend curlers feel, well, I'm just the lead. I want to get up to where I'm shooting third rocks or skipping, but lead is a very important.
You're not going to win without a good lead. That's all there is to it. You haven't got a chance.
So Mike Friesen splits the guards out in front. Matter of fact, he races one as it rubs up against the boards. Shot rock, and the only rock in the house belonging to Lukowich. This will be a good indication of just how much those rocks will come over using that that center ice, as you can see by the broom of Mike Chernoff.
The ice here at the Granite is ideal for competitive curling because it will move a bit. It also keeps fairly straight when you're throwing a hit, but the guards will come around, so you can get around, or pardon me, you can get around guards, which is ideal for this kind of curling. It's good for the spectators because you get some spectacular shots, as indicated in the first 2 minutes.
Ron Schindel might be a touch heavy on this one because they didn't touch a broom to it at all, and that's going to sail right through the house.
Yeah, after raving about his great weight, he must have heard us.
Well, we'll see how the percentages go. As I mentioned earlier, Danny Hildebrand is keeping percentages for us. We'll check in with him on the fourth end as to how they sat after 3. In the first time around, when Thompsett played Gauzel, Thompson finished at 62%. Lyle Derry was at 61. Joel Gagne, his second, was the best of the bunch at 76, and Mike Friesen curled at 65%.
Looks like a little extra weight there on Joel, and it will hang up on that one side there. If you overthrow it slightly, it will not move. So he knew as soon as he let it go that he had a good chance of rolling out on that.
So now Mike Chernoff will turn to Dale Johnson and giving him the same shot as Schindel had in his last attempt, but went through the house. We'll see if Johnson can pull it up a bit shorter. Going to the out turn, hoping to get around that guard that is laying out in front belonging to Thompsett. The only rock in play here in the third end. They're tied up at 2-2.
Dale is a very quiet member of this team, a 34-year-old farmer from Medicine Hat area. He's been on the team for 6 years and one of the best at his position. We keep harping on these guys being one of the best at their positions, but when you take a look at the rings, the caliber of the Lukowiches and the Thompsetts and Gauzels and folks, all these guys are the tops, and you aren't going to get guys better than these guys at their position. So Johnson obviously falls into that category as one of the best second men in the game.
There's Joel Gagne with his final of second rocks in the third end. The lone shot rock belonging to Lukowich, or to Thompsett rather, sitting in the back of the forefoot.
Yeah, with Schindel and both Schindel and Johnson living in Medicine Hat, and Lukowich and Chernoff living in Calgary, they don't play together in club play. They just get together for Bonspiels and for the provincial playdowns only. So they don't let the Miles keep their team from playing together, and they play a great many Bonspiels in the winter, particularly in BC and Alberta, where there are many cash spiels, and so they get more than enough curling, so there's no problem there. But it's very interesting to see how far guys will go to play together.
Dale Johnson unable to keep that shot in the rings, and again the house is empty. A 2-2 tie after 2 ends of play. Lukowich took a 2-0 lead in the first when he slight delicate tap back raise for the deuce. In the second, Thompsett had a chance for 3, but with the hammer rubbed off a guard and had to settle for the deuce in the tie.
We have a nice crowd out to watch this final match, Brian. Many
rather amazed
top-notch curlers in Winnipeg out here to watch. And Thompsett actually has a tremendous following. There's all sorts of curlers from the St. Mark Memorial Club and all. He's got quite a following in Manitoba. it'll probably increase as the years go on.
Yes, we have the people here from Pacific Western Airlines who we are happy to have join us this year in the co-hosting of the Curling Challenge. I notice that center line has been running very, very straight down there. Twice Mike Chernoff went to it to try and hide behind that left-hand guard that you can see in the screen, and it just stayed down the center.
That's right, particularly when they're using the out-turn going away as that shot by Lyle right there. Very, very straight. But as you can see by Lukowich and Chernoff, they want to come in behind anything. It's kind of interesting. They feel they'll just go right at these guys and see if they can maybe try and get a quick jump on them. But Thompsett's team is amazingly cool, and they don't seem to be rattled by anybody. And I think their record proves that.
Two very capable rinks here in the final of the Curling Challenge. I was a little surprised at not the fact that Ed Lukowich got into the final, but the 6-1 score over Rick Folk surprised me a bit. But the third end was really the crunch.
Well, these things do happen in the game. Even when you get two top-notch teams going at each other, they do a little gambling, and that kind of thing can happen in the game of curling very easily.
Well, we'll see if Mike Chernoff can pull this one around the guard. It seems to be dying on him, and I don't think it'll have enough as Ed Lukowich comes out to help.
You just got a little further out and just pulled back on his weight a bit. It's interesting with Mike Chernoff. He's a 43-year-old geologist from the Calgary area. He is he's twice the age of anybody on the Thompsett squad. But as you can see by the way he plays, age means nothing in this game.
Another golfer, too, out of the Earl Grey Golf Club.
That's right. And originally born in Kamsat, Saskatchewan. Started curling in 1950.
So we'll turn now to the final rock of Lyle Derry in the third end to see if he can draw in around that grouping. As we mentioned, they've been running very, very straight, but he's going to outside ice now and see if he can get in behind cover. Quite a change from that first end of play when they had about 8 rocks in the house.
That's right. They were all behind the tee line, mind you. It's got a little more room on this one. It depends on the weight on this.
Again, they keep the brooms to it. So it starts to cut over. I don't believe it'll get by that guard.
I even raised them in. Let's see. It moved pretty quickly in there.
So Lukowich lying with shot rock just biting the top of the 12. And he too will try for about the same route that Thompsett used. I would imagine that Mike Chernoff will up his weight a touch because it really did start to die.
That's true. They're getting further out on there too, and a little frostier on the sides there, so they must keep their weight up a bit, and they must get out to the room. If you start to roll them a bit, they'll really move. And the danger of raising the opposition's rock in is always there. See, he's got a little more weight on this one.
He did up the weight because they've kept the brooms off, and now Lukowich asks him for the broom. He's got plenty of room to get by the guard. It's a matter of weight now as to how much it will come over. But he puts it onto the button.
It's a fine judgment on the front end's part for sweeping on that. They're very good with those push brooms.
Lukowich now lying shot and second. And it's a 2-2 tie here in the third end of play. The decision from the Thompsett group as Lukowich and Chernoff look on. And there's the front end from the Thompsett foursome. Something very important that you mentioned before too is the fact that the front end stay away from the decision making and let the third and the skip decide on it.
That's right. And it shows, obviously, the success of these teams. If you get the front end guys coming racing in there and giving their opinions, it just disrupts everything, any sort of continuity on the team. And but you still have to communicate, and it's just indicated here that Mert came by and he was talking to Joel about exactly what he wants to do in here. As long as the front end knows what's going on, they've got to ask too. But when it comes to actually calling the shot, it's up to the skip and the third, or particularly the guy who's throwing the rock, because he's the one that feels confident in what he's doing.
Mert Thompsett with his first of skip rocks in the third end. Lukowich has the hammer. Lukowich also lying with the only 2 shots in the house. Now it is starting to come over. He's got by and plenty of steam. And
great shot.
He will roll over behind cover.
Now that is a fine shot, because now Eddie can't do anything about it. He's got the shot rock, and the best Eddie can do is just draw, or he's raising his own shot rock on the other side there.
This will be Eddie's first of skip rocks, and you can see the pleasure is evident on the faces of both Mert Thompsett and Lyle Derry.
You can see nothing seems to bother them. They're cool out there all the time. Looks like they're just playing a club game.
I would think that all you have to do is get into world competition once, and then there is no big pressure, even in Bonspiel.
I mean, I really don't know.
I shouldn't say that you still want first place, but you've been under maximum pressure before.
Well, actually, it depends on how you accept it. Some of the teams that have played in the world, they figure they're automatically going to be back again, and they never do, and they lose their composure after a while, or they over-exaggerate the importance of it, and they never get back, or things like that. But on the other case, looks like with Thompsett, they accepted the experience, took it in stride, and they're coming back even harder.
Boy, has he got enough to raise this up for shot.
It's very close.
It's very close as to that, the one to the left of the screen. There we are.
It appears that Thompsett's still shot.
We're in the third end. It's a 2-2 tie, and the last rock advantage belongs to Lukowich as Mert Thompsett heads back to the hack for his final rock of the third end.
And Mert would like to try and draw right in behind that center guard now and be lying to and put a lot of extra pressure on Eddie Lukowich again. You have to be impressed with this Thompsett team. They're just not afraid of anything. And Mert, weak ankle or not, is obviously fairly confident out there right now.
Quite a bit of curling history over the last 2 or 3 years in this young rink. Mert Thompsett looks to draw in through that port. Call the brooms off. They feel he has enough weight. And they bring it to the back of the forefoot, and
it's a good shot.
It would appear, at least at this point, as though Thompsett is lying shot and second, only it's difficult to tell with that Lukowich rock sitting up on top of the 8-foot.
See, they brought it back far enough. If they had left it and shown half a rock or so, they could have left a double for Eddie Lukowich and get himself a double and pick up a 2, which would have been a fairly disastrous result after Thompsett's team played a fine end. Now Eddie's got to make a tough shot here. Okay, he's got to make sure the weight is there. A little extra, and it could hang out, and he could raise. So it's not an easy shot.
The final rock of the third end is a 2-2 tie. In this, the final of the CKND, Pacific Western Airline Curling Challenge for 1980. Ed Lukowich with his delivery. They put the brooms to it right away. By Chernoff says keep the brooms on it as it starts to come over. Looks like he has a great shot. And he nudges it out.
Very fine shot. Must have picked up only 1.
And it would appear, by looking at it, that Lukowich picked up only 1, barring a measurement. And Lukowich of Calgary will go in front of Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg. 3-2 after 3 ends. We'll return with more of our curling coverage in the CKND PWA Curling Challenge right after this timeout.
Did I lock the door on the way out this morning? Why, no. I mean, I was really rushed. I had to catch the bus. And besides, what's the harm? The wife and kids are still at home sleeping, right? And what could happen?
No time. Busy reading the newspaper. Isn't your family's safety important enough for you to take the time? No, make the time to lock up.
Back in 1953, Allstate realized that automobile insurance was not something to toy around with. So Allstate pioneered the Drive-In Claim Center, where you can get your claim settled without having to run around for estimates. And in most cases, leave with check in hand. Allstate has been working to take the red tape out of insurance in Canada for more than 20 years, and we'll never stop. That's a promise from the good hands people.
Get set for the good times with a quality-built billiard table from the World of Billiards, Canada's largest manufacturer of quality billiard equipment. There are 14 different slate table styles to choose from, including custom-built solid mahogany tables. We also carry a complete line of accessories, as well as shuffleboards and foosball tables. Visit our World of Billiards factory outlet in the Airways Mall, located behind Williams Brothers Furniture.
Chevy is a step ahead. When my working day's done and it's finally time to get the easy way to head for home's my Chevrolet Chevette. It's comfort, style, and economy, my Chevette all the way. Chevy's a step ahead. Chevy is, Chevette is. Chevy is a step ahead.
No way to shave a lady. That ain't no way to shave a lady.
The new Lady Shave from Philips. There were 2 shaving edges for underarm comfort and a flexible foil for smooth closeness. It's effective and convenient. Now that's the way to treat a lady.
Now that's the way to treat a lady.
The effective new Lady Shave by Philips.
Romeo's Inn, a family restaurant with a difference. A relaxing dining atmosphere designed for your privacy, with a complete menu for any sized appetite. For a quick lunch or a full-course meal, next time treat yourself and the family to Romeo's Inn, with plenty of free parking at 1814 36th Street Southeast.
Brian Swain and Don Finkbeiner back at the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg as we enter the 4th end of this, the final in the CKND PWA Curling Challenge. Lukowich with a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Move out in front, 4-2. Lukowich picked up 2 in the 1st end. Thompsett came back with 2 of his own in the 2nd. Lukowich with 2 using the hammer in the 3rd, and he leads at 4-2. Moving into the 4th end, the first rock from Ron Schindel.
Yeah, I guess we misled everybody saying that he only got 1 on that one, Brian.
That's
our
right.
eyes aren't what they used to be. Mind you, we haven't got the greatest view of that far end that way.
Well, it was rather touchy, but certainly they didn't have to make a measure on it. There was no decision making down the other end. It was straight 2 for Ed Lukowich. These are 8-end games, so really nobody can take the chance of getting too far behind. We have keeping our scoring system for us, Danny Hildebrandt, and we'll check in. Danny, how do they sit for percentages after 3 ends?
Well, to this point in the game, Brian, the percentages aren't what you might call outstanding, but that's understandable considering that both skips have been playing a very intensive draw game on what would be regarded as unfamiliar ice. Comparing the personnel by positions, Ron Schindel to this point is 62.5%, and he's tied with Mike Friesen of the Thompsett rink at 62.5. Dale Johnson is also 62.5, and Joel Gagne is the highest percentage shooter on the ice right now at 79%. Mike Chernoff and Lyle Derry are both at 62.5, and Eddie Lukowich is at 62.5, and Mert Thompsett is at 58.5. And therefore, to this point in the game, the percentages are very close. The Lukowich team shooting a total average of 62.5, and the Thompsett rink at 65%.
Thank you, Danny Hildebrandt, who is doing our scoring for us here and keeping us up to date on the percentages. We'll check in again with him in the 7th end after they have completed 6. So a slight edge in favor of Mert Thompsett, curling at 65% over 62.5 compared to Ed Lukowich.
As for some interesting statistics there. Given to us by Danny Hildebrand, a very famous curler in his own right, I might add. And a prominent member of the Association of Competitive Curlers, is on the executive, and probably in line to be a future president of the organization.
Here's the final of lead rocks for Mike Friesen in the Thompsett foursome. Thompsett will be, of course, looking to use that last rock advantage in this end to get back into it. He trails 4-2.
It's been a very interesting game to date. Both teams with a lot of rocks in play, and neither of them are afraid to go at one another on this. It's ideal ice for that kind of situation.
So Thompsett now lying second. Shot in the top of the 12. Shot rock belonging to Ed Lukowich at 3 o'clock in the 12-foot. Delivery of Dale Johnson, the second on the Lukowich ring. Now with Lukowich, with the only rocks in the house, Thompsett, of course, will have to be concerned to try and draw around that one guard that is sitting out in front.
Yeah, it's fairly crucial now that Joel maybe gets one behind this guard, get something going. They're trying to get a miss out of the Lukowich team. Obviously, Mert is not afraid to go at him. He's not worried about the two rocks in the 12-foot, and he would like to get something going here.
Keep the brooms on it, trying to get by that guard. Will it have enough? No, it just rubbed off the guard and then straightened out onto the center line. Seems to carry over a lot more to this end of the sheet than it does the other. The other end seemed to run very straight down the center.
Yeah, down that. But this is the cutting turn on that. Now, it's very critical on how you release the rock in that. If you turn it in at all, it'll really move. If not, it could stay out a while. But, if the boys are moving and turning them at all, they really move.
Only keep the brooms in this one all the way. Looking for a nose hit. Able to get it. Now with Lukowich. 3 counters in the rings.
Now Mert's probably debating whether to bail out now and do a little hitting, or whether to keep up this draw game. The more rocks in play, the more chances you have too. So it's not. You see, he's not panicking really. He would like to try and get a rock in through there. And Joel came so close in his last one. I can see he feels confident in getting it in this time.
You can see the delivery there of Joel Gagne. The rock is really cutting over now once it starts from that center line. You'll get by the guard, but will it have enough weight to get into the rings? He just manages to bite the 12.
Well, he had good line on it, just a little shy in his weight. Now, Mike and Eddie decide that if they raise that front one, their own straight back, they've got Thompsett in a bit of a bind, and make it a little more difficult for him.
Lukowich leading 4-2 as we get down to third rocks in the fourth end. They've traded deuces, with Lukowich taking 2 in the first, Thompsett 2 in the second, and Lukowich back with 2 of his own in the third. Both these rinks, masters of the push broom.
That's right, and Lukowich, along with the Gausel rink, are one of the first in Canada at the competitive level to take up the push broom, and they've caused a great following, as many competitive teams now use them.
A lot of rinks have gone to them because there's less chance of debris on the ice, but we saw it once before when it picked up a hair off the broom. That's right. So it can happen there. They may get a little tap back raise here on their own and nestle it in behind cover.
It's a good shot. You'll notice all the way down that Johnson and Schindel keep looking up to see how the weight is in the line. They're very alert that way, and all front end should make a note of that, because you You have to watch to see the situation as the rock's coming down the ice, because if you oversweep or undersweep, it's not going to do anybody any good on the team.
Well, decision time for the Thompsett foursome as we near the halfway mark in the fourth end.
Well, though it may look grim to some people, if you were Mert Thompsett, they've still got some potential here. They, one key shot, for instance, a double and roll, and all of a sudden, well, actually a triple is set up there in a way, but all of a sudden the thing could swing around again. Well, actually, if there's one way hitting that front rock that maybe all four
Take
would
all
go.
four of them,
yeah,
sure.
It's hard to tell. You can never judge on the way when rocks hit. They sometimes don't go as exactly how you judge they would go. So it'll be interesting to see what Lyle comes up with on this shot. But it's very important that he gets, at least takes a couple with him on this.
You could see how closely Mert Thompsett was checking over that front rock just to find out exactly where he can hit it to possibly get the 4, or if not 3, or double at the least. Good weight thrown by Lyle Derry. They keep the brooms on it all the way.
He's come up a little too much on this.
So he'll take only one, and still leaves the Lukowich counter in the 4-foot in behind cover.
Lyle was a little tight on that one. I think he gets a little up to the room, but he had fairly good weight, and I think he gets a little further out. Who knows what would have happened on that one, but just a little tighter than he wanted. I'd like to mention again that the teams, Lukowich, Gausel, and Folk, when they were in town, they stayed at the Place Louis Riel apartment hotel. Had a tremendous stay there, and we'd like to thank that establishment for putting the teams up for this special.
Yes, we talked to the rinks about that, and they enjoyed their stay there very much.
Gausel had a very good time before he left.
I think he has a good time wherever he goes.
That's right. That's right.
This the delivery of Mike Chernoff. Their rink leads it 4-2. We're in the fourth end of play. Third rocks. Drawing up a little bit light for their liking.
Well, that's a good shot. It covers the draw on that one side, so it now forces Mert into trying to get Lyle to do a raised draw on this. Now this is, as if not all shots are key here, but this one is particularly key for Thompsett to see if he can swing this end around a bit.
He has really two ways to go here. If it should fall offline, he can either tap it back on the Lukowich rock, or if not, it could go the other way in behind the Lukowich guard.
That's right. Schindel obviously had a late night last night. He appears to be yawning on the bench over there. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the fact that he thinks he's got this game under control.
Lyle Derry moves back down to the hack with his final of third rocks here in the fourth end.
This is critical end, obviously, for Thompsett. We emphasize this quite often, but in an 8-end game, he's down 2, and he needs to score here. He'd prefer to obviously get more than 1, but the way things are going now, I think he'll be satisfied to get 1 out of it, because right now with Lukowich lying 3, but he has to score. He cannot afford to give up another 1, because then Lukowich, we've seen this team, very powerful team in action when they're up, and they can hit everything in sight.
Delivery of Lyle Derry. He's also involved in judo.
Yeah, apparently at one time I don't know how good he was, but apparently he's long since quit the sport.
It looks like he's going to get the raise that he's after. But how much? Still leaves the Lukowich rock counting, nudging it back into the 4.
Well, it's the weight he wanted if he was to raise the rock into the 4-foot only without having to hit the Lukowich rock, but it hung out there all the way on him. And a tricky shot, but it makes it very difficult for them to get that rock out of the Lukowich rock out of the 4-foot.
As Lukowich heads back down to the other end, I think one option certainly they have here is the fact that they can raise their own back down and still leave it well guarded out in front.
See, you have to be careful here too. Lukowich is not exactly got it sewed up just yet, because there's a double situation over on the right-hand side here, and he has to be concerned if there's any problem. You know, if Eddie were to miss a couple of shots here, Mert could all of a sudden turn it around and pick up a 3 or 4. So they still must make all their shots from here on in.
Maybe he had second thoughts there because Mike Chernoff was holding the broom out towards the other side of the 8-foot and then went back and decided to go up towards the front. They're looking to raise their own back. They do it and they have enough as it bites into the 4.
Oh, it's a beautiful shot.
Nice touch from Ed Lukowich.
Yeah, he's very famous for his touch on that. As we said before, some consider him to be the finest curler in the game, and it's pretty hard to argue about that when you see him make shots like that. He made a tremendous shot last year, they claim, to win the World Open in Edmonton to get $20,000 for his team, and I'm sure they're all thankful that he plays on their team. He made a double race takeout, I believe.
I know when I started curling, they used to call me the plumber, and I never could understand why until somebody else had said the other skip had the touch of a surgeon.
Well,
and it was quite clear.
I'm sure you've been called better in your time, Brian, but maybe that's why you took up golf.
That could be. But I've never tried it on ice.
No.
Maybe I should.
Yeah, I won't make any comments further to that one. This is shown. This is a public television station.
4-2, Lukowich in front after 3, and we're down to skip rocks in the 4th end.
You know, at the very least, Mert would like to open things up here. He's going to try and raise in there, but he can't afford to overthrow it either. But at the very least, he must open that up to give himself a shot to get 1 later.
We mentioned before that Ed Lukowich's brother, who plays in the National Hockey League with the Winnipeg Jets, is here watching his brother in action intently. And I imagine they'll probably change places later on in the season when Ed goes back to Calgary and gets a chance to watch his brother Morris when they come into town to play the Flames.
That's right.
So now we have quite a jumble out in front.
He's that's not what Mert wanted. He's in a jam now. He hasn't got he really hasn't got a shot there. He's
the only thing I can really see him cutting off would be a double raise that Thompsett has in front with his last rock. If Lukowich sews up the outside where he can't get around, he really has a little other option left to him.
Yeah, it's not exactly a good situation for Thompsett in this one. That front is too cluttered in there to make it's a very, very difficult shot, as you say, a double raise. But it's an angle type double raise, and that's extremely hard shot.
Lukowich lying 2 in the 4-foot. 3rd shot belonging to Thompsett, but it would be very tough to nudge that down. He would need a double raise to do it.
He wants to guard the side rock there to prevent Mert from trying any sort of double on that side. But even Mert trying to double over there, it appears the best they could get would be 1, if that even, because the other shot rock in the 4-foot.
Ed Lukowich with his final of skip rocks in the 4th end, and it will leave 1 to come from Mert Thompson, who trails at 4-2.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weight on this one. It may come right into the house.
It will nestle down to one of his, or I should say come up short to one of his own rocks, and he really hasn't cut out the outside from him on that shot.
No, that's a fine shot.
Look at fast Eddie Lukowich as he returns down ice, and I think he thought maybe that one took off on him a little bit.
Yeah, you talk about the Lukowich family. Eddie, as we mentioned before with brother Mike, was the Canadian high school champion in '62, and Eddie himself went on to win the Brier in '78, as we all know, and he's the only curler in Canada, to my knowledge, that's won the Canadian high school and the Brier. So it puts him in a class of his own on that.
Mert Thompsett deliberating this shot along with his 3rd, Lyle Derry. The one they're pointing at, I think, is about the only shot that he has to him, which is a double raise onto the counter, sitting in the 4-foot belonging to Lukowich.
Yeah, now this is a very, very delicate shot. Now he can't afford to throw good weight at it either. He has to play a very delicate shot. But he still, once you start moving a couple of rocks, then they'll die very, very quickly. So when a rock sits there for a little while, it takes a little bit to move it. So you must throw more than, well, even backring weight in this shot to move 2 rocks and to get one into the forefoot. So it's very important that they get the right line on this too, because if it doesn't come up enough.
Well, with this shot by Thompsett here, you can either be trailing 6-2, or he can narrow the score to 4-3.
And with an 8-in game, he's got to come up with a big one here.
The release of Thompsett. Rides it right down the center line. They haven't put a broom to it yet.
He's going to be pretty close on
a lot of weight. He's got the raise. He's got one. Will it sit in there? Too much.
Tremendous try.
Too much. And Ed Lukowich comes up with a steal of 2 in the 4th end to go out in front 6-2. That's how they sit after 4. Ed Lukowich of Calgary, 6. Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg, 2. And we'll return with more of the CKND Pacific Western Airline Curling Challenge from the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg right after this message.
Air fresheners try and cover up odors with other smells. So, you get tobacco smoke with a hint of lemon. Fish with a floral bouquet. And sneakers with a touch of pine. However, the new air ecologizer from Philips recirculates the air and actually cleans it of odors, smoke, even dust and pollen. You don't have to cover up odors when you have the air ecologizer. An inexpensive new idea from Philips.
Looks like another great morning, start of another great day. Gonna get you going on your great west way.
Pacific Western gets you going to more places in Western Canada than any other airline. From Inuvik to Seattle, Winnipeg to Vancouver Island. Join Pacific Western on the Great West Connection.
The Great West Connection and me.
What is ESSO? It's environmentalists like Barry Noble making sure our coal projects are ecologically sound. It's George Cranton researching better gasolines like Canada's first premium unleaded. It's mechanics like Norman Allard helping you keep your car properly tuned. And it's research engineers like Fumiko Suzuki working on our heavy oil project at Cold Lake. They are ESSO, part of Canada's future for the past 100 years. In 1958, Allstate realized that home insurance was too important to play around with. So Allstate helped to pioneer home insurance with on-the-spot claims payout by an Allstate representative, often within hours. Allstate has been working to take the red tape out of insurance in Canada for more than 20 years, and we'll never stop. And that's a promise from the Good Hands people.
Your TV yoke's just blown, and it's going to cost you $65. When this happens, your flyback is shot, $97.50. And this is the big one, the picture tube. Up to $250 and a month in the shop. If you rented from Granada, you'd get the endless warranty. Repairs wouldn't cost you a penny extra. Granada TV rental. It really is worry-free color TV, for now or forever.
These aren't just snow tires. These are Goodyear ice radials. They give you traction on ice without studs. To get around safely this winter, get a set of Goodyear ice radials around you. If you want traction on ice without studs, expect the best from Goodyear.
Needless to say, sent right through the house. Lukowich will not give Mert Thompsett any easy chance to set up any guards in front.
No, the key here for Mike Chernoff when he's calling the game here is to just keep everything clear, and the very obvious for Thompsett is that he must get some guards up front. Now, you know, some people may say, well, there's no way they're going to come back against a team like Lukowich, but you get one miss, you get yourself a 2, And you just keep playing garbage game, and you could possibly get back into this game. So it's not out of...
It was very unfortunate for Thompson because he had the shot that he was after. It was just a little too heavy.
Yeah, actually, it looked very good. I thought he had a nice touch on that, and a little unfortunate for him, but just slightly overweight on it.
Ron Schindel, the lead for Lukowich, who was curling at 62.5% through 3 ends. Matter of fact, the whole rink was at 62.5. Danny Hildebrand, our scorer for this match, the final in the 1980 challenge. One rock in play belonging to Lukowich, sitting at 8 o'clock in the 12-foot. Now look at Mike Friesen in the hack, ready for his delivery.
Mike's from a fairly well-known curling family in the Winnipeg area. His father, Jim, is a fine curler at the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club, and his uncles John and Abe are both super leaguers in the Winnipeg area. So the Friesens have done well, and of course Mike, being a Canadian champion, is probably the most famous of them all.
Certainly the Assiniboine Club have been prominent in the curling ranks throughout Winnipeg. There are a lot of good curlers that have come out of there.
Oh yeah, there's tremendous. With like Kerry Burtnick now, Craig Blanchard last year, part of his team was from the Assiniboine Club, and he's now be curling with Lyle Derry and Montford out of there. And as a matter of fact, Joel's brother plays on that rink also. So they've got some tremendous young curlers in that club, and a lot of them are here today to watch too. So they certainly follow each other in one big family over there. Tremendous junior program there.
Dale Johnson delivers, looking for the right side of the house. And with that counter belonging to Lukowich, the left side of the house, they're content now to give Thompson only one side to go after.
That's right, but there's, as long as there's rocks in play, that gives Thompsett an opportunity to get something going. Though, if the thing is blank down there, then it gets very, very frustrating. But now they've got some potential. Even if the rocks are in the house, it's good.
Joe Gagne, the second of the Winnipeg rink. They keep the brooms in front of that one all the way down. Again, Thompsett will be looking to leave as many rocks out in front as possible. Give him a few options, but he certainly didn't want it that far out in front.
Well, that's sometimes the price you pay, because you definitely don't want it into the house, and you want to get a guard out front, and in this case, just pulled up a few inches late. But not as bad a shot as some people make it out to be.
In the preliminaries, Thompson, 5-3 winner over Paul Gausel of Calgary in an extra end, while Eddie Lukowich defeated Rick Folk of Saskatoon with 6-3, and that one ended in 7 ends.
See, in this shot here, Mike, he's got plenty of room to put another rock in the house, but he figures why clutter it up and give Thompsett something to come down to, so he simply threw it through the house, and that's a good call. Some people are surprised when they do things like that, but Mike does not want to put more points on the board. He wants to keep Thompsett down to nothing on this, so his key is not is more defensive, that's all.
Yeah.
So it was a very good move to throw that through.
Joel Gagne's final rock of the 5th end, the second for the Winnipeg rink. And hogged his first one, but he guides this one over the line, and Mike Chernoff will waste little time in going after it. We're at the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg, where they're celebrating 100 years of curling, 1880 to 1980, and these walls could talk. There'll be a lot of stories come out of
That's
here.
right. They're even having a bonspiel for Howard Wood, probably the most famous curler ever to come out of this building. They're having a memorial bonspiel in November for him, and he, along with the likes of Terry Bronstein and Donnie Duguid, brought fame to the Granite Curling Club and Winnipeg Mother Club.
Good steam from Mike Chernoff as he goes after that guard sitting out there belonging to Thompsett.
I think he's missed it on this one. Just a little too much weight, a little outside the broom, and that's all it takes.
One of those breaks that Thompson has been looking for. So now he has something to come in behind. He trails it 6-2 after 4 ends. They've been all deuces. Lukowich with 2 in the first, Thompsett 2 in the second, Lukowich with 2 in the third, and then a steal of 2 in the fourth.
Lyle with plenty of room on this one. He's trying to get in behind that corner guard. Starting to move down.
There's plenty of room by the guard. It's a matter of weight now as to where it will settle in the house, if it does settle. A little assistance from Ed Lukowich. It rolls to the back of the 8-foot.
But it's still in there for second shot, and in the case here, Thompsett needs everything he can in play, but as I say, there's a lot of rocks in play, and I don't think Mike Chernoff intended to have this many rocks in play, particularly when you're up 6-2, but so this always gives the Thompsett wreck a chance.
Here's a look at the ice given by Ed Lukowich to his third man, Mike Chernoff. Does come over a long way once it
yeah, it'll move in there nicely, whereas in the other turn will straighten out pretty well, but this one there's plenty of room to come in. It's a little further out now on this one, and see how it comes in.
Keep the brooms right off it. You can see Ron Schindel
just sort of follows it down there like a cat.
Now it starts to dig in.
Stayed a little further out than Mike would have liked it, and now well, it gives Mert an opportunity to get Lyle to hit and roll on this. If he does that, then he's got something going here, because the second shot rock, or the third shot rock of, no, I guess it is the second shot rock of Lukowich is sitting in the open, and you never know what can happen here.
Lyle Derry, the third for the Winnipeg rink, under Mert Thompsett.
Nice smooth delivery.
Got an excellent delivery. Keeps his body well behind it. And again, they keep the brooms off it, so it has room to come over. He would like just a little roll to the right, which he gets.
Oh, great shot.
Nice
great
shot by Lyle Derry.
He's got something going here, Brian. And as you can see now, Lukowich has to come out with a corner guard now. As you can see, by having a few rocks in play, all of a sudden he can switch around, because this is the last thing that Chernoff wanted to do when he intended to keep things clear, is to have this kind of thing in play. Now you can see the potential here for Thompsett, and it'll show you that even a rink like the Chernoff-Lukowich combination here they haven't missed really on this, other than Mike and the guard, but you can get yourself into a bit of a jam, and with a few breaks here and there, Mert could come back with a 3 and be right back in the game, which would be good for this pro Thompsett gallery here at the Winnipeg club.
6-2, Lukowich leading it. We're down to skip rocks in the 5th end. They keep the brooms so that one all the way down. Trying to bend it in over the center line. Now it starts to come across. Ball by the guard.
Oh, that's a good shot. Very good shot.
Good judgment by the sweepers, Dale Johnson and Ron Schindel.
Oh, yeah, that's a big shot. Eddie had to come up with something in that. Although, still, Mert's lying 1. He's got to be careful here, too, because it's hard to tell what would do if Eddie had a chance to raise his own back here, whether he would jam it on his own at the side, but Mert's got to be aware of Eddie being able to do that now.
I'd say only about maybe 1.5 to 2 inches of room between those 2 rocks.
That's right. I think Mert looks like he wants to come in behind even the 2 of those, which is a good call.
Mert Thompsett looking to get back into this game. He trails at 6-2, down to his first of skip rocks in the 5th end. that ankle injury that we alluded to at the top of the show, but he doesn't seem to be bothering him at all.
No, he's, you know, he doesn't seem to be favoring it at all anymore. Perhaps you get mentally into the game, you sort of forget about it. It appears that that's what's happening with Mert. He's played very well.
He's given it a lot of weight. Now they can take the brooms off it, waiting for it to come over. Trying to curl in behind those two you see biting the floor.
He's got a fine line on this. It just depends on the weight. Oh, that's a nice shot. He's got a dandy.
There's a great shot. Great shot by Mert Thompsett.
Gutsy little curler.
So Ed Lukowich will try and follow the same route.
Now you can see here, Eddie's weight is very critical here, because if he just comes back and nudges it and rolls into the open, then Mert's got a wide open hit for 3, and he's back into the game. And if he doesn't get it, then Mert's got another chance for 3. So that's Mert playing that shot was a very, very good call, and you can see even at the age of 19, he really is not afraid to play anything, and he really knows what he's doing, and it's very, very impressive and good for the future of curling in Manitoba when you see young guys like this playing so well.
Ed Lukowich with his final rock of the 5th end. He leads at 6-2, but Mert Thompsett lying shot and second in the 4-foot. This one may be coming up short. They keep the brooms to it all the way, but hard to say if it'll have enough steam to make any difference. Hard sweeping by Dale Johnson and Ron Schindel. Well, it comes up short, and Thompson has a chance for 3.
Mert's got the wide for 3, and he's back in the game. So
quite a turn of events.
Well, you take a look at the number of rocks in play, and as they say, even with a great team like Lukowich, they never want to see this many rocks in play when they're up 4, particularly in an 8-end game. But if Mert does get this, it'll just show you never give up on the game.
Well, the reason he went to the World Junior Finals is the fact that he was able to make shots like this.
That's true. And his entire team, they all have to have, they all got to go out there with their heads up and just keep plugging away at it.
Thompsett lying first and second shot in the 4-foot. He trails at 6-2. This is the final rock of the 5th end. A chance to pick up 3. For weight now. He appears to have plenty of weight. Will it come over? Hanging out on that outside ice. Thing is, will it bend enough to get into the 4-foot?
He's done it. Picks up the 3.
Bites the 4, and Mert Thompsett picks up a very important 3 points in the 5th and narrows the gap to 6-5 in favor of Ed Lukowich. We'll return with more curling from the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg and the CKND Pacific Western Challenge.
Get set for the good times with a quality-built billiard table from the World of Billiards, Canada's largest manufacturer of quality billiard equipment. There are 14 different slate table styles to choose from, including custom-built solid mahogany tables. We also carry a complete line of accessories, as well as shuffleboards and foosball tables. Visit our World of Billiards factory outlet in the Airways Mall, located behind Williams Brothers Furniture.
One day when the turtle was out for his stroll, he bumped into what he thought was another turtle. "Who are you?" he said. "I'm an armadillo." "You have chocolate?" asked the turtle. "Creamy milk chocolate, caramel, buttery caramel, and nuts, almonds." "Almonds? Big chunks of almonds, which reminds me, if I'm called an armadillo because I'm made with almonds, why are you called a turtle?"
Now, what do you got here? One of them Japanese jobs?
It's a Chevy Citation, but it has front-wheel drive.
Japanese?
It's a Chevy Citation, but it gets great mileage.
That's Italian, yeah?
It's a Chevy Citation, but it's very comfortable.
New Citation. Magnifica.
Si, grazie, grazie, Chevy Citation. You know, it's crazy, but some folks think this is an import.
Chevy is a step ahead.
I asked my Valentino to go find me a vino, a sparkling white vino, The man of my dreamos. He found me the vino. Spumante Bambino. Oh, what a vino.
Spumante Bambino from Jordan Wines. It's light, white, just right.
He found me the vino. Spumante Bambino. That's my baby now.
This is a plug for self-control. The BSR system X10. X10 lets you control up to 16 lights and appliances from any place in your home without moving. Lights on, off, dim, brighten at your command. So get yourself under control. The BSR system X10. Total control.
Pete?
Evening, Mr. Landon.
A little something for Christmas.
Oh, thanks.
Here, let me show you.
No need. Watch this. This little Kodak Ectrolite 10-pocket camera has an electronic flash built right in,
So you're ready in a flash to get sharp, clear pictures.
Right, so give an Ectrolite 10 for Christmas. How's that?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Wayne and Don Finkbeiner back with you at the Granite, where we move into the sixth end of play in this 8-end contest between Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg and Ed Lukowich of Calgary. Lukowich holding a slim 6-5 lead now after Thompsett picked up 3 in the 5th.
Well, we got a great game going here now, Brian. It was a tremendous comeback by Thompsett in that last end.
Well, that one seemed to pick up something on
I think they,
Mike Friesen.
They found a hair in that. Actually, that's more important than people might think, because he wanted to get something right out front immediately and not give Chernoff an opportunity to put one in on the side. Now that swings the advantage back to the Lukowich squad, if this rock indeed can stay in. But Schindel looks like he's a little warm on this, which may be a break that Mert wants. Yeah, he is.
Lyle Derry gave it a little edging to get it out of play. And, both lead rocks have gone through. So we'll go now to Mike Friesen. Mert Thompsett, Lukowich holding the hammer here in the 6th and a narrow 6-5 lead.
We've seen some tremendous shots here, Brian, in this game. And, both teams going at it very aggressively. This is what Current's all about. And two very talented teams.
Well, that
Mike's a little light in this one again. Well, you
hard
don't
to
have
say whether the ice has changed at all through.
Well, it might. You never know. You have to sort of be out there. But this is now important again for Schindel to see if he can get one in. Of course, he doesn't want to leave it up front either as a corner guard. He wants to make sure he's there. So being a little heavy on that is not that bad either. It looks like he's done it again.
This one from Ron Schindel.
Well, it looks like it might be out. Mind you, Mert's giving it a close look on that.
Maybe enough to hang on for a biter at the 12.
No, it looks out from here.
After my call in the 3rd end, I won't venture a guess.
Well, I can't criticize you because I agreed with you on that one, too, so we were both wrong.
Joel Gagne, the 2nd for the Thompsett rink. Only one rock in play so far, and that belongs to Ed Lukowich. Back in the 12. 4 o'clock may or may not be biting the rings. Thompsett again looking to leave as much out in front as possible.
Yeah, that's the shot he wanted, and now gets something going on that now. This game is proving to be very, very interesting, and we'll just have to see what if Mike can get the team to keep things clear for them this time.
Dale Johnson threw good weight at this one. He rubs it off, and the shooter also will go out.
It's a very straight running turn. That one appeared to back off slightly on that one too, so it's a tricky sheet of ice.
Here's another look at the only rock that is in play, and that was sitting at the back of the 12. May or may not be biting. I really don't
Unless
think
the
it is.
circles are out, it appears not even to be close. It's a good angle shot on
that. Joel Gagne with his final of second rocks here in the 6th end. 6-5, Lukowich leading after Thompsett came back with a 3-under in the 5th. And again, they place it out in front.
Mike simply asking Dale Johnson to peel this one off again.
And again, he throws good weight at it. Ensuring, of course, his shooter also will roll out of play. And again, we only have one rock that's in play at all, and that's apparently not even biting the rings. That will bring Lyle Derry, the third for Thompsett, into action. You can see there some of the other curlers who have entered the building, involved in league play here this evening.
Yeah, the Winnipeg Granite with its very popular spot here. Fine facilities, got 9 sheets here, and can't keep them off all day, and here they come out to play in the club games.
Thompsett moving into this final, defeating Paul Gausel of Calgary, while Ed Lukowich of Calgary defeated Rick Folk of Saskatoon. Lyle Derry in his delivery, also using that tuck delivery.
Well, his is more of a partial tuck on it. It's a partial tuck balance on that one.
They again keep the brooms off and
Fair
hold them
amount
just
of
a
weight
little
here,
bit up in
maybe
front.
coming into the house on this one. It's well, it did die. It's misjudgment on my part.
I think maybe Ed Lukowich and Mike Chernoff will discuss the fact of whether they should run it off or try to come in behind it, but...
Well, yeah, it gets to the point where if you keep putting them out front, then one of these times they'll come in behind. This one's slightly off the center line. Good shot at Mert there. Obviously not too concerned about his ankle injury, particularly when he makes 2 great shots to get a 3 in the last end. This is certainly a fitting game for the final. Both teams playing very well. It's quite exciting curling.
I thought for a moment after 4, when Lukowich went into a 6-2 lead, we were going to have a bit of a runaway, but Thompsett, never saying die, came back with 3 in the 5th.
That's right. This is a very tremendous experience for Mert also to play against the likes of Paul Gausel and Eddie Lukowich when he's still eligible for the junior this year, and he's not going to be playing against teams of this caliber, but so he's gaining a great amount of experience, and I think he's obviously going to be a tremendous threat for the junior title again.
There's Lyle Derry, another fellow we're going to see a lot of in curling in years to come.
That's right. He's a tremendous curler already.
They again will just look to leave this one up front, as Thompson has to get out and assist with the broom work. Bring it back in towards the center line. Still the only other rock in play is the back of the 12-foot, not biting the ring, belonging to Ed Lukowich.
See, now here's a case of some experience and showing that they're not afraid. You can only peel off guards for so long. You might as well take advantage of it eventually, and that's what they said. Okay, one more guard, and we're coming in behind. And you after giving up a 3, they have to go back onto the offense because they've just got to try and swing the game around into their favor again. So this time now, if he gets a good rock in here, he's got a tremendous opportunity to pick up a 2 and also get a 3-point lead again.
Mike Chernoff in his delivery, throwing third rocks. He holds the broom, however, to call the shots. Got plenty of weight. Thing is, where will it settle in the rings? Lyle Derry ready to jump on it as soon as it crosses the tee line. He'll bring it to the back of the 4-foot.
It's a nice shot, just about 1.5 foot heavier than Mike would have liked. It gives now gives Mert an opportunity to draw down to it. If it's above the tee line, then he's in good shape. But now it does give Mert a chance, and Mert has indicated in the last end he's going to straw weight down pretty nicely.
Then he get a nice little roll and duck in behind cover and hop into the driver's seat at least as far as this sixth end is concerned. He trails at 6-5, however, and Lukowich does have last rock in his end.
This is a very important shot for Mert, obviously, but he does get one down in here, puts a little pressure reverse back onto Eddie Lukowich.
There's the delivery, and Joel Gagne and Mike Friesen, both with the brooms. It's starting to cut over on him. Will it get by the guard? I don't think so.
No, that one took off on him.
But he'll run the front one into the rings, and they lie second shot.
That may have picked up something and jumped across. They don't seem to be too pleased about the shot on that.
It came over very dramatically.
Yeah, it may have caught something on that. Because they were leaving it all the way, and then all of a sudden it moved, so quite possibly it could have happened. Picked up something.
Ed Lukowich with his first of skip rocks here in the sixth. He leads at 6-5. Holds the hammer here in the sixth end. It's an 8-end contest, as Don mentioned. Appears to have plenty of weight. Now they call the brooms on. Running pretty straight once.
Yeah, that's a straight running turn, Brian, as we've seen down there with the hits, and obviously with that. But that's still a good shot for Eddie, because it definitely guards us now. Now Mert's only shot here is to hit and hope to get the double on that. That is the straight running turn again. Now, if he gets the double, then he's once again sitting pretty good. But that is a tough double, although straight back.
He needs just about a nose hit, I would say, just slightly off
close
center.
to a nose. That's right.
And he has almost the center line to guide him.
That's true, but as we've seen many of the hits coming down there, it is a tricky spot, and it's not that easy.
So again, Mert Thompsett with a very important rock, his final of the sixth end. Eddie Lukowich with the hammer lying first and second shot. Here's the release, and he sends it right down the center line. If it holds in there and he gets it just off the nose, he'll have the deuce. He's got one, he's got the other one, but the initial rock stays in for a shot.
Oh, he can't get closer than that without making it. Bit of a bad break for Mert on that one. Looked like he had it all the way.
So Lukowich has a chance here to pick up a deuce in the sixth if he's successful. He leads at 6-5. This will be the final rock of the sixth end. Winner of this contest will receive a system pass courtesy of Pacific Western Airlines, while the runner-up will receive a $500 check from CKND Television. Both the third and fourth place ranks have already picked up $250 for their participation in the preliminaries. Really putting the broom to this one. Does he have enough? They're working it all the way down. They have to get by the he's got rocks of Thompsett, and he has enough as he rolls it into the 8-foot. And Ed Lukowich picks up another two to move out in front 8-5 after 6 ends over Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg. And we'll return with more of our CKND PWA Curling Challenge from the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg in just a moment.
Why do men keep coming back to McLeod Brothers? It could be for the great selection of stylish, quality clothing. You'll find exactly what you're looking for in business attire or casual coordinates. It could be for the perfect tailored fit that every executive demands. But men return to McLeod Brothers because of their tradition for selling only the finest in quality clothing. McLeod Brothers with 4 locations: Westbrook, Market Mall, South Center, and our newest downtown location, TD Square.
One day when the turtle was out for his stroll, he bumped into what he thought was another turtle. "Who are you?" he said. "I'm an armadillo." "You have chocolate?" asked the turtle. "Creamy milk chocolate, caramel, buttery caramel, and nuts, almonds." "Almonds? Big chunks of almonds, which reminds me, if I'm called an armadillo because I'm made with almonds, why are you called a turtle?"
Back in 1953, Allstate realized that automobile insurance was not something to toy around with. So Allstate pioneered the drive-in claim center, where you can get your claim settled without having to run around for estimates. And in most cases, leave with check in hand. Allstate has been working to take the red tape out of insurance in Canada for more than 20 years, and we'll never stop. That's a promise from the good hands people.
You know Philishave is the shaver that's a cut above the rest. Now we're also the shaver that shaves a cut below the rest. That's because of our new lift and cut system. Every one of Philishave's 45 rotary action blades now has a lifter that gently lifts the hair while the cutter shaves it closer. The new Philishave with the lift and cut system. Now you don't have to get wet to get close.
You know why I fill up at this Gulf self-serve? To conserve money. Simple as that. But I don't always buy my gas here.
I also go to my full-service Gulf station. They check my oil, tires, and tell me if they see any mechanical problems.
Self-serve saves me money. Full service saves my car. Now that's my kind of conservation.
Gulf Canada has both kinds of stations, to serve you and to help you conserve your way.
Kodak puts life into pictures.
Hi, Pete.
Evening, Mr. Landon.
A little something for Christmas.
Oh, thanks.
Here, let me show you.
No need. Watch this. This little Kodak Extralight 10-pocket camera has an electronic flash built right in,
So you're ready in a flash to get sharp, clear pictures.
Right, so give an Extralight 10 for Christmas. How's that?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
At the Granite Cup in Winnipeg, we're at Lukowich of Calgary leads Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg by an 8-5 score as we move into the 7th end of play. And keeping the percentages for us has been Danny Hildebrandt. Danny, how do they sit after 6 ends?
Again, Brian, comparing by positions, Ron Schindel of the Lukowich squad is at 59%, Mike Friesen at 60%. The seconds, Dale Johnson is at 72%, Joel Gagne is at 70%. At third, Mike Chernoff is 64%, Lyle Derry at 69%, and the skips at Lukowich 70%, and Mert Thompsett dropping to 52%. The story in the game so far seems to be the 4th end where Lukowich stole 2, Lukowich in that end shooting a cumulative average of 87.5 as opposed to Thompsett with shot 44 in that end.
Thank you, Danny Hildebrandt. Certainly a very key factor, 87% for Lukowich as opposed to 44 for Mert Thompsett. We're into Ron Schindel's second of lead rocks here in the 7th end. Thompsett with the lone rock counting in the 8-foot, but that has easily been removed. The shooter also rolls out. Lukowich with deuces in the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 6th ends. Thompsett with 2 in the 2nd and a 3 to get really back into it in the 5th, but I think that 2 in the 6th just might be a little bit too much to overcome.
Yeah, you can be sure that Mike Chernoff, that is, will not try and let anything get around this time. He paid the price dearly the last time, allowing Thompson to come up with a 3 5th, and right now with only 2 ends to play, you can be assured that he'll play everything out.
Well, they're looking for another guard on the center line from Mike Friesen. And as Mike Chernoff moves up to it, he'll be taking that one out of place pretty quick.
Yeah, he's asking Dale to remove it with his out turn, and once again, this is a straight running turn. It's very easy to peel guards off on that kind of a turn. But then again, you must not get outside on it.
That was the delivery from Dale Johnson, who was leading the Lukowich rink percentages with 72 after 6 ends. Top so far, as a matter of fact, for the Thompsett rink is his counterpart at second, Joel Gagne with 70%, Lyle Derry close behind at 69. Mert Thompsett, who certainly made a key shot for 3 in the 5th, has been struggling, however. His percentage has dropped from 58 after 3 ends to 52 after 6.
Well, it might be pointed out for the skips in situations like that. They're playing very difficult shots, and because the game, they have to play shots like that, and it's obviously they suffer when it comes to percentages. So it can be very misleading. But Mert made 2 outstanding shots in the 5th to get them back in the game, and I think that he's curled a very good game.
So again, they'll hope to leave this one out in front, and it'll be a matter of Lukowich and his foursome to just keep peeling them off and eliminate any chance of Thompsett to get back here in the 7th. It's only an 8-end contest, so needless to say, a very important end for Thompsett.
I think we've noted in with the games being 8 ends, the teams have been very aggressive, particularly in the first few ends, and I think those who've been spectators here at the Granite have enjoyed that. And well, I may not win too many friends with competitive curlers, but I think that 8-end games would be good for the game. And, I'm not sure too many would agree with me, but I think from the spectator's point of view, an 8-end game is tremendous, because it is a long game, a 10-end game, and it's only recently, mind you, come down from 12 at the national and international level. So I suppose those would say it's too quick to make a change again, but I think 8 ends is fine.
Well, I'd certainly agree with you, at least as far as television goes, because when you're sitting in your living room watching it, it certainly makes it more exciting if teams are aggressive end after end.
Oh yeah, and it's just better for the spectators, as you say. And I don't think the curlers mind either, too, especially when you're playing 2 or 3 games a day. 8 ends, it forces you to become more in the game immediately, instead of playing the first few ends open and just waiting till you get the weight down. You've got to go at the opposition immediately, and aggressive curling is always good to watch compared to a defensive type of curling. So I think that I would personally like to see it, but I'm sure that most competitive curlers wouldn't agree with me on that. But that's happened to me before, Brian, and I won't let that rattle me.
That's why you're here.
Right.
Mert Thompsett went to the other side of center, and following right down the same path, Mike Chernoff, and he erases that. So still no rocks in play as we have 3rd rocks coming up. This will be the first of Lyle Derry. Thompsett holding the hammer here in the 7th, but he trails at 8-5. Keen delivery of Lyle Derry. Seems to have a fair amount of weight as it heads toward the center line. And that will just have enough to get it back into the 4-foot, just back of the tee line. Finally have a rock within the rings.
Yeah, that's not really what he wants, but nonetheless.
Either that, or maybe at the stage of the 3rd rocks, he is hoping for a turn-off miss here. And,
I don't think they're going to get anything like that, a wide-open miss. You got a better chance of putting a guard out front and hoping for a nose hit or a hidden slight roll so that you can get in behind something. It's a percentage shot, whereas this one, it's very difficult.
Mike Chernoff, who was 62.5% after 3, moved up to 64 after 6 ends.
That shot shows you exactly how straight this ice is running.
So that simply rolls over to the opposite side of the house and comes to a stop in the 12-foot.
As we sort of wind this series down, it's kind of interesting to note again that as curlers, we appreciate the sponsorship of Pacific Western Airlines and CKND TV for putting on a series such as this to broadcast throughout Canada, and I think all curlers are in agreement that it helps promote the game of curling, and to your, I salute your station on that, and to Pacific Western Airlines. And all their fine people in the public relations department.
Thank you kindly. We're glad to have you along, Don, to supply the color commentary.
Always a pleasure.
So we now have the two rocks in play in the back of the house at the 12-foot. The yellow rock belonging to Lukowich, the red to Thompsett. Lukowich leads it 8-5 as we get down to the skip rocks here in the 7th end. Lukowich picking up 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, and another 2 in the 6th. For Thompsett, it was 2 in the 2nd. And then 3 to narrow the gap to 6-5 in the 5th. Ed Lukowich with a draw for a deuce in the 6th has moved into that 8-5 lead, and he has just erased the rock belonging to Thompsett in the 12.
So that's an important shot that Eddie rolls out on that. If he sits there right there, he leaves a beautiful pocket for Mert to draw down to. If he does that, he can give up a 2. He's on, then Mert's only 1 down coming home. And anything can happen in that case. But the key there was to roll out. Even if he hits it either side and jams his own out and just leaves the 1 there, that's fine. But he could not afford to leave a pocket there.
This will be Thompsett's first to skip rocks in the 7th. He holds the last rock advantage and is down by 3. Derry asking the sweepers just to check it for weight. Starts now to come over. They'll nudge it right back up, but not enough to freeze.
Well, that's a good shot. It's Eddie has to be careful on it again. But he's got at least something to hit it back on for the Thompsett point of view. Eddie indicating that preference of turns he wants to throw on that. Chernoff at least asks Ed which one he'd prefer to throw, because he's the one that's actually throwing the rock on that, so it's very important that Eddie chooses the turn he wants to throw.
Threw thundering weight at it. It should not move off that line at top. Good enough, and he rolls up with his own and leaves 1 for
very
shot.
Accurate, Curler. Very accurate.
Forcing, of course, Mert Thompsett to go after it, and either rolling out. Certainly don't think he can expect to come back with a. Of course, he did a 3-ender in the 5th, so I guess not all things are impossible.
Well, there were more rocks in play, and that's what Mert had hoped for in this end, but not the case here. So he looks like he's probably going to try and blank this and take his chances coming home. And you never know in the game of curling. Funny things have happened. I've seen.
So this will be the
pick
final
up
rock.
4 coming home to make 3 down coming home. Pick up 4.
He's throwing good weight at it, but I think he's missed it. He missed it and has given up a steal of 1 to Ed Lukowich in the 7th, and that gives Lukowich 9-5 lead after 7 ends. Lukowich leading Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg, and will return to more curling action from the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg and the CKND Pacific Western Curling Challenge.
You know why I come to this golf station? He just told me 4 ways to conserve on gas that won't cost a cent. 1, check your tires. Soft tires mean less mileage. 2, drive slowly and carefully. 3, make sure your air filter is clean. And 4, get that unnecessary weight out of the trunk. You do all that, you'll save a lot on your gasoline bill for free. Now that is my kind of conservation.
Gulf Canada's here to serve and to help you conserve your way.
They are herding them in at Shaganappy Chevrolet Oldsmobile. It's their year-end clearance on remaining 1980s, and the savings are big. The demand is strong for GM products because GM is king of the road, making Shaganappy the #1 dealer around. With an inventory of 3.4 million, you're sure to find the best deal on 4 wheels. Mid-size, full-size, and luxury automobiles, now year-end clearance priced at Shaganappy Chevrolet Oldsmobile on the Crowchild Trail at Shaganappy Trail Northwest. Ride on in.
shave a lady. That ain't no way to shave a lady.
The new Lady Shave from Philips. There were 2 shaving edges for underarm comfort and a flexible foil for smooth closeness. It's effective and convenient. Now that's the way to treat a lady.
Now that's the way to treat a lady.
The effective new Lady Shave by Philips.
Furniture World's original Midnight Madness is on now. Hurry in for the best selections while quantities last. Your choice, coffee or end tables unassembled, just $11 each. Assorted end tables, $58. Student desks, $99. This RCA 26-inch color console, $5.99. A McClary 16 cubic foot refrigerator, only $4.99. This Bedford sectional sleeper, a low $688. And this 7-piece dining room suite for a low $858. All items cash and carry and subject to prior sale. Quantities are limited, so check today's Herald and hurry in for the original Midnight Madness at Furniture World.
You say this game gives me 10 chances at winning $1 million? And thousands of subsidiary and instant prizes, too? And now there are 20 bonus prizes of $100,000 each, all for the same $10. And the name again of this super lottery. Super Loto.
Super Loto.
Bonus draw, November 23rd.
There. Keep yourself nice and warm, huh?
How's Becky?
Feeling a little better?
Oh, wish I were. My throat's all scratchy and raw. Got this cough, too.
That's why I got you Hall's Mentholyptus.
Halls with vapor action works 2 ways. 1, Halls cools and soothes your raw throat. 2, helps nasal passages feel clearer.
I'm feeling better.
So am I.
Halls with vapor action works 2 ways. Now new Ice Mint.
Brian Swain and Don Finkbeiner at the Granite Curling Club in Winnipeg, with Ed Lukowich holding a comfortable 9-5 lead over Mert Thompsett as we enter the final end of play.
On Mert's last rock, you can see it only even happens to the best of them when, in attempting to blank the end, if you step up your weight and overthrow it, you can, on a straight running turn, you can tend to miss it. That's exactly what happened.
Again, Thompsett will be looking to keep as many rocks in play out in front as he can, hoping for a miss from Ron Schindel or Dale Johnson.
Well, I think he needs a little more than just the normal here. I think he needs a prayer in this one. But a rink of the caliber of Lukowich and Chernoff and the boys, they're not going to... There's no way they're going to miss enough shots to allow Mert to get a 4 here. They're just too good for that.
Ron Schindel with his second of lead rocks in the final and 8th end. Takes it out and rolls out the shooter. Ron Schindel was at 62.5% after 3 and dropped to 59% after 6.
The statistics on the percentages are quite misleading in a way as to what this game is all about. It's been a very aggressive game, and when you have games like that, you have entertaining curling. I'm of the belief that teams curling in the 90% when they're just playing wide open hits all the time is not that exciting to watch. And I think what we've seen here is good aggressive curling, and I think that. That's fine, and the percentages sometimes suffer, but it's good curling to watch, and there's been some very, very fine shots in the game, and I think it's a credit to both teams and their abilities.
Dale Johnson will come to take that one right off the center line, and again plan to roll out with the shooter. Does just that, and no rocks in play after second rocks have been completed.
Dale just quietly goes about his business, never says anything. You hardly even notice him out there. And, he never says a word, but obviously very effective.
Should say there's one more second rock to come. That'll be Joel Gagne's last. And here the 8th end. And, the Lukowich rink will, of course, just peel off one by one until they eventually run the load of rocks.
Yeah, as I say, Thompsett's team needs a little more than just the normal here. It's just... It's very difficult to imagine a team of the caliber of Lukowich giving up a 4-hander.
You have to keep the brooms for that one just to make sure it gets over the hog, but it does. And again, Mike Chernoff will call on Dale Johnson to erase it.
But even though this game is sort of gone to the way of Lukowich near the end here, I think we have to remember the strong game that Thompsett and his team have played, particularly in the early ends here, and that nice comeback in the fifth end, and also their game in defeating the previous game when they defeated Paul Gausel. And when you're up against the likes of the Lukowich and that, you can't afford to have anything go wrong, is what happens here. But as I say, the future of Canadian curling is in good hands with the likes of Thompsett and obviously the Paul Gausels, who are still in their early 20s, and the other rings of this type and age in the game.
Phil Gagne now will try and get down in behind cover of the corner guard left out in front by Dale Johnson.
You think you can get 4 rocks in behind the corner guard, Brian?
Not all that much room.
How about your team? You think you could get 4 in behind that, or?
If they allowed me to walk down and place them there, I might stand a chance.
But then again, you wouldn't be playing against Eddie Lukowich in your league. I don't think. Mind you, that's a good league. No, I shouldn't say that. I'll get myself in trouble.
Easy in my league because I'll be having them coming at me with brooms.
No, actually, there's some fine curlers there in your league because I played against them in junior curling, and they're very fine curlers. I'm getting myself off the hook on that one.
Mike Chernoff is ready in the hack for his first of third rocks. The 8th and final end. Lukowich getting into the final by defeating Rick Folk of Saskatoon. Mert Thompson made his way into the final by defeating Paul Gausel 5-3 in an extra end. That one has enough to get by.
I might add that the Lukowich team, if they obviously hold on to this lead and win the system passes with Pacific Western, they do definitely hit the Bonspiel circuit quite aggressively, and they'll certainly put them to good use. And coming from Calgary, they've got many cities in the Pacific Western system that hold major cash fields, so I think that it'll be a tremendous asset for their team to have these tremendous prizes.
This is the first of third rocks by Mert Thompsett, and of course it has to be kept in play in the house because they trail by 4. And the moment Red Rock disappears out of that house, the game will be over. Has it got enough to get by?
Oh, fine shot. See, they never give up, and that's what you like to see. Now, this is a little interesting here.
That is tucked back in behind some cover. As you can see Ed Lukowich looking at it.
Now here's a shot where Eddie says to Mike, he says, whatever you do, do not get outside. You've got to hit those guards and get rid of them and leave it open for Eddie. Like if he were to get outside, for instance, and whistle it by, then Lyle comes in behind again, then all of a sudden Lukowich just got himself into a jam. So you never know.
9-5, Lukowich leading it. This will be Mike Chernoff's final rock of the game. Thompsett lying shot in the 8-foot behind cover. Well, he took the
that's interesting because
off,
now
but he still left it covered up.
Well, now, it's going to force Eddie to make one. He's got to make one shot for sure, a wide open shot. And well, it all depends on Lyle's shot here. But curling's a funny game, and you never know.
All 4 rocks on the Mert Thompsett rig must count in order to force a tie.
As they say in baseball, it's not over until the last pitch and last strike, last out. In curling, it's not over until the last rock.
That's right. Name slips me as to who said it.
I think Yogi Berra said it.
Yogi Berra, it's never over till it's over.
Well, if they get this in behind the... Oh, he's got a good shot here. Well, that's an excellent shot.
But I believe Ed Lukowich can probably see enough of it.
Well, here now, let's look at what could go wrong here. First of all, if he got outside and it stayed out, it's possible. Or if he comes inside a tall and hits his own guard and just grazes past the other one and moves the guard over even straighter, things could happen, and then Mert can come in behind again. So funnier things have happened.
Reminder that we'll be having the prize presentations following this match. This could very well be the final rock of this contest, depending on just what Ed Lukowich does with it. They lead at 9-5. Thompsett with a pair of counters to the 8-foot. Lukowich just going to tap his own back, and erase one of those rocks belonging to Thompsett, but he doesn't do it. Still, Thompsett lying with 2, but no cover out in front.
Well, it's even, it's absolutely amazing to even go down to last rock for Eddie Lukowich when you're 4 up coming home, but you can see what can happen. Only a guard out front shows what can happen in a situation like this. To the credit of Mert Thompsett's rink and a couple of fine shots by Lal Derry, it shows that you never give up. And it's hard to imagine a wide open miss by Eddie Lukowich on any takeout, particularly takeouts. But stranger things can happen. It could pick up a hair, or he could slip in the hack. One of Thompsett's team could hit him when he came out of the hack, and things like that. But I can't imagine Eddie missing a wide open hit. But nonetheless, it could go down, right down to the end.
Thompsett is going to the other side of the house. You got to keep the brooms on it, though, in order to get it into the rings. And it'll check up into the 12, just biting into the 8-foot.
Now this is an interesting shot in a way, although it seems rather easy. You go for the big target on a shot like this. You've got 2 rocks in a line like that, so you go for the big target, so you've got X number of feet to throw at, and all you got to do is hit 1 rock. And so they get, if they get 3 on you, you still win the game. Doesn't really matter. But here, the idea is just to hit a shot. So Eddie's taking minimum ice.
9-5, Lukowich leading it. Thompsett with all 3 rocks in the rings. This is the final for Ed Lukowich.
Nice and smooth.
And he's got the one and the one he needed. And that wraps it up for Ed Lukowich of Calgary, as Mert Thompsett manages to get 3 in the 8th. And Ed Lukowich of Calgary posts a 9-8 victory over Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg. And we'll be back with just a moment. The presentations in this final for the CK&D PWA Curling Challenge.
The Trendsetters. Men's rings, diamonds, and precious stones. The Trendsetters from Andrews Jewelers in the South Center Mall.
Shave a lady. That ain't no way to shave a lady.
The new Lady Shave from Philips. There were 2 shaving edges for underarm comfort and a flexible foil for smooth closeness. It's effective and convenient. Now that's the way to treat a lady.
Now that's the way to treat a lady.
The effective new Lady Shave by Philips.
One day, when the turtle was out for his stroll, he bumped into what he thought was another turtle. "Who are you?" he said. "I'm an armadillo." "You have chocolate?" asked the turtle. "Creamy milk chocolate. Caramel? Buttery caramel. And nuts? Almonds. Almonds? Big chunks of almonds. Which reminds me, if I'm called an armadillo because I'm made with almonds, why are you called a turtle?"
Back in 1953, Allstate realized that automobile insurance was not something to toy around with. So Allstate pioneered the drive-in claim center, where you can get your claim settled without having to run around for estimates. And in most cases, leave with check in hand. Allstate has been working to take the red tape out of insurance in Canada for more than 20 years, and we'll never stop. That's a promise from the good hands people.
Blown another fuse.
Funny, that's twice this week. Should we get the wiring checked?
Yeah, when I get around to it.
Look, Mommy, my dogs got all burnt up in the fire.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The Graham family might not have lost their home if they had read the Shell Fire Safety Book. Shell helps.
This is a plug for self-control. The BSR system X10. X10 lets you control up to 16 lights and appliances from any place in your home without moving. Lights on, off, dim, brighten at your command. So get yourself under control. The BSR system X10. Total control.
Congratulations, Eddie. On behalf of Pacific Western Airlines, it's my pleasure to present you and your team, your winning team, passes good anywhere within the system that Pacific Western Airline covers. That's about 50 communities in Western Canada, and we hope that you'll make good use of these.
Thank you, we certainly will.
Thank you very much, Ernie. And now to the cash prizes. The runner-up, Mert Thompsett of Winnipeg, receiving $500 from the program manager of CKND Television, Stan Thomas. Stan?
Thank you very much, Brian. Well, this should help ease the pain a little bit, Mert. $500 from CKND TV as their runner-up in the CKND PWA Curling Challenge. It's a series that we hope to be able to continue in the years to come, and you curled very well last year, and you put on a very good display, I thought, again this year. I understand your first game was a real barn burner with the marvelous Paul Gauzel. Anyway, we're very, very thankful that you showed up again this year, and thanks very much. Congratulations. And now we have checks for the runners-up, the semifinalists, and I'd like to call in Rick Folk from Saskatoon, from Canada, of course, who won the World Championship last year, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to say hello to Rick. I was sort of hoping, Rick, that the old Saskatoon boys, my hometown, would come through, but I know you had a terrific game there against Eddie in the semifinal.
Well, Ed sure played well against us, and their team hardly missed a shot, so they certainly deserve to beat us. So congratulations to Ed and his men.
I know that you've had many games with Eddie over the years, and it goes back and forth all the time, and I know that they're probably the two of the best teams we've got in Canada right now.
Well, we've had some dandy battles with Ed over the years, and probably have a few more to come.
Okay, well, all the best to yourself and your team, and to folks Finer Furs, too, as well.
Thanks, man.
Okay, there's your check. And, of course, Paul Gauzel. I don't think Paul needs a great deal of introduction. He's one of the great curlers in Canada at the present time.
Kid yourself.
Anyway, Paul, I understand you went to an extra end game, but...
Yeah, well, Mert's got a pretty good team, and he plays well.
Marvelous. Anyway, there's something that'll help you make it through the night, $250.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Thank you, Brian. I would like to say, on behalf of CKND TV, how much we've enjoyed the cooperation and the co-production we've had with Pacific Western Airlines in presenting this series. It's been a great pleasure working with them, and all the very best to PWA. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Stan. Once again, the winner of the 1980 edition of the CKND PWA Classic is the Ed Lukowich rink from Calgary, winning that systems pass. Once again, Brian Swain, on behalf of Don Finkbeiner and our entire Telecrass crew, bidding you good evening.
The Independent Television System.
On channels 2 and 7. You're watching CFAC, Calgary.
There you are. I've been looking for you all week. Now I've found you. We're going to entertain you for the next 1 hour with another edition of the Stampede Wrestling Show. Ed Whalen at ringside, and we're going to open up with T.G. Stone, young man out of Vulcan, Alberta, going against another young man, Bill Joden of High River. This is one fall, and there's a 20.
I can be of help to you now.
Oh, Doctor, I hope so, because I'd have no place to turn. I might even commit suicide.
Oh, nonsense, Mr. Broderick. At least not until I finish talking to you. Oh, in time, I will have to meet with Sylvia.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about that now. Hilda, would you please make an appointment for Mr. Broderick for next week? Thank you. Don't worry, Mr. Broderick. I'm sure everything will turn out just the way you want it to.
I didn't think so when I came in, but I'm beginning to believe it now. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Get the edge on the latest news, sports, and weather with Spokane's #1 newscast. Q6 News Alive every night at 11.
Weekday mornings on Today, there's everything you need to start your day. News, weather, sports, interviews, movie, TV, theater, and book reviews. Everything except the coffee. It's America's most popular wake-up show with Tom Brokaw, Jane Pauley, Gene Shalit, and Phil Donahue. The Today Show.
Don't miss the regular controversial features with Phil Donahue and TV critic Ron Hendren on The Today Show, Monday morning at 7, here on Q6 Alive.
You don't have to be a skier to take advantage of Mount Spokane Ski Patrol's ski swap at the fairgrounds. Last year, I bought this new parka for half price, and Charlie got a snowsuit. Register your items for sale Friday, November 2nd at 4 p.m. Sale starts Saturday, November 3rd at 9 a.m.
Gee, Mom, when is it going to snow?
In 1865, they called him Boy. 10 years